welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, June the 8th. We are talking about, and everybody is talking about, the biggest event to hit Columbia in centuries. The total solar eclipse on August the 21st. Melanie Knocke is with us, Columbia Public Schools Planetarium. We're trying to get every angle that we can in here. What are the Columbia Public Schools Planetarium going to do for the eclipse?
Well, we're going to have a couple of shows over the summer. Our second Saturday shows, we're going to have second Saturday in June and the second Saturday in August. We're going to be closed in July. We're going to have, in June, we're going to have a little bit of talk about the eclipse after our regularly scheduled shows. And then in August, we're going to have preparing for the eclipse. So we'll have a show that talks about what causes eclipses. And then we will follow it up with, here's what you should do and here's what you shouldn't do. And those are the second Saturday of the month. And we're going to have eclipse glasses for sale there, too. People can get these all over the place, though, but we will have those for sale.
But it's important, if you want to watch it, that you have the eclipse glasses.
Right.
Now, what I found out the last time we did a segment, when the sun is in the total eclipse, correct me if I'm wrong, it is okay to look at it without the glasses.
Absolutely, because the sun is not there. What hurts your eye is the sunlight, and when the moon is blocking the sun, there's no light to hurt your eye.
You can see the corona.
Right, the sun's atmosphere.
You can see that.
Right, the moon will block it, and you'll be able to see the sun's atmosphere, which is there all the time. It surrounds the sun. It'll be like white wispy things. How it looks, we don't know. It depends on how active the sun is. We're getting ready to go into solar minimum, so there hasn't been a whole lot of activity on the sun lately, and it doesn't look like there's going to be, but who knows? But
when it's going into the eclipse, it's important not to look at it.
Right.
You have to get a pair of glasses.
Right. And they look pretty flimsy, but they are designed so that it blocks all of the light that's going to hurt your eyes. And the only thing that's bright enough to be seen through this dark film is the sun. And it blocks everything, so it's just a very small amount, a very safe amount of sunlight that gets through. And so during the partial phases, you'll need to wear these. You can get these at the MU bookstore. You can get these at the planetarium public shows. You can get them online. All sorts of places, but you do need to have these. And I want to tell people that don't mess around when it comes to your eyes, okay? If you have doubts, you think this might work, don't. Just get something that is approved eclipse glasses.
Get the solar eclipse glasses.
Right. Sunglasses do not use. Sunglasses are even worse than not having anything at all. Looking at the sun Right,
itself.
because if you use sunglasses, you think that your eyes are protected because the light intensity is down. It's like you can look longer, but it's only blocking the visible light, and the visible light is not really what hurts your eyes. It's the ultraviolet light, and most sunglasses do not block ultraviolet light.
Okay, so don't be foolish and look at the eclipse with sunglasses.
That's right.
Now, here's the thing that amazes me. We were talking about this before going on, is the fact that astronomers, scientists, can predict the exact time and the path of...
They've been doing that for centuries.
I know. How did they do it centuries ago without computers?
They use their eyes, and they watch the night sky. And the thing is, when the sun goes down every night, it goes down in a slightly different location compared to the background stars. And so people long ago would take note of where the sun disappeared and the first stars that they could see. And they would just track the sun's location by that. You can't see any stars when the sun is in the sky, but as soon as it goes down, you can see stars, and so they would track those positions. And that's how they came up with the ecliptic. The sun would visit the same stars every year, the same path. So the ecliptic, the stars of the constellations of the zodiac, Capricorn, Cancer, Sagittarius, all of those are actual constellations in the sky that the sun travels through.
But they could predict when the moon was going to come in front of the sun and cast a shadow on the earth and block out the sun's light for a solar eclipse.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot that the humans can do, and there's a lot that humans did before computers.
Computers.
So.
Now, if you're listening on the radio, you're not going to see this video. We've got a little video, and I want you, Melanie, for everybody that's watching us, Go ahead and roll that, if you will, Travis. Melanie, explain what we're watching. That
All right, this is a view from beyond the moon, and it's slightly exaggerated, but it shows the shadow of the moon that's going to be crossing across the United States on August 21st. It starts in Oregon. It cuts a swath across Idaho, Wyoming, Nebraska, a little bit of Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, I think Kentucky, perhaps. It ends up in North Carolina, Georgia, and South Carolina before it heads off into the ocean. And that path that the moon's shadow is taking is only 70 miles across.
Right.
So the moon is really far away and it's really tiny, so it casts a really tiny shadow on our planet. And so it only leaves a 70-mile shadow.
And we're fortunate here in central Missouri that we are in the middle of that 70-mile shadow.
Right.
Now, people in St. Louis and Kansas City are not going to see that full total eclipse.
Not unless they drive. In Kansas City, they have to drive north a few miles. In St. Louis, they have to drive south a few miles because it's cutting across the state at a diagonal.
Yeah.
But the thing to keep in mind is that a lot of people are going to be driving. A lot of amateur astronomers I know are kind of waiting to commit to where they're going to view it until they see the weather forecast, because it depends on, this is absolutely going to happen. They have been predicting it for years and years and years, so there's absolutely no doubt it's going to happen. But you never know what the weather's going to do.
You don't know if it's going to be a cloudy day or if it's going to be a sunny day.
That's right.
Normally, I'm always wanting rain for the crops in the garden,
But
on
one
August
day-
21st,
Yeah.
I want pure sunshine so we can see that eclipse.
That's right. So for the Columbia Public Schools, what we're going to do on the 12th, the second Saturday, it's about a week and a half before the eclipse. We are going to have just a talk that people can come to. They can go to our website, cpsplanetarium.org, and get reserve tickets or reserve seats for that show a couple of weeks in advance anyways. And we'll try to help people prepare.
Okay.
But basically, my thought for the eclipse is to get a pair of eclipse glasses, okay? If you can't, if you don't, and you're under a tree, go outside, look under a tree. All right, you'll see little tiny eclipses going on all the time.
Because they're coming down through the leaves.
And making pinhole projectors that are projecting the image of the sun on the grass.
Melanie, thank you so much. I'm so excited about this eclipse coming in. I'm sure most of the people listening to us and in central Missouri are too. We're really very, very fortunate that we're right here, and the moon and the sun decided to give us this great show.
This great show, yeah.
Now, if the weather will only cooperate for that. Melanie Knocke, thank you so much for coming by. City of Columbia, Barbara Buffalo is going to be on tomorrow. Have yourself a nice day. Drop me an email, pepperpmissouri.edu. Bye-bye.